नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं अमिताभ एंड यू आर वाचिंग एड टॉक्स विद अमिताभ। और जैसा कि हमने वायदा किया है, एक बार फिर वी आर हियर विद एन एमिनेंट इन्फ्लुएंसर, सोशल एंड एजुकेशनल। एंड हम आपको देश के कोने कोने में ले जा रहे हैं और आज हम आपको लेकर के चलेंगे लुधियाना। एंड वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट स्मॉल टाउन टू बिग स्टोरी। And we are talking about Ruchika Arora ji. Ruchika Arora, a young girl groomed with an Indian culture and a personality to be a good, happily married family person, got into an early marriage, and before even she was 21, she was mother of a very cute and a sweet daughter. But as the life would have its own ways, she was challenged, the dreams were shattered, hopes got converted into disillusionment in a personal life, and life has thrown a different set of challenge for her to take care of. And from there, the journey of a mother and journey of a successful entrepreneur had begun. And friends, an educationist at par, managing director of Cherubs, the preschool at Ludhiana, which is now spreading its wings and open to take it to different levels. Already few branches have spread out in Ludhiana and nearby areas. So before even any further delay, let us invite Ruchika Arora ji on the screen, connecting straight from Ludhiana right now in our virtual studio of the School Times. And you are watching Ed Talks with Amitabh. Namaskar, Ruchika ji. Welcome to Ed Talks with Amitabh.
Namaskar, Amitabh ji. Good evening. How are you?
We are very good, Ruchika ji, and thank you so much for accepting our invite to be part of our show. When we got our referrals, we do the headhunting to get people on our show, and when we got the reference and we did the homework on you and tried to get details about you, I think you're so very well covered with the media about all the lovely things that you are doing, whether it is your own school, the Cherubs, the preschool, whether it is the NGO work that you are doing, the social cause, and so many versatile activities you've been involved with. I'm sure our viewers today are going to learn a lot from your life and times.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amitabh ji. It's an honor to be on this show. And I've been looking forward since we've talked last week. I've been looking forward to be on the show. And I hope it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful day for all of us. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Before we go further with our interaction with you, let me caution our viewers that last 2-3 days we have had a big challenge in the broadcast because of Amphan cyclone affecting Calcutta and West Bengal area, and right now we are broadcasting this to the whole world from Calcutta. So the in Calcutta, the Amphan has really affected the electricity, telecommunications, internet connectivity. In fact, our last episode had to be postponed to Sunday, which was scheduled on Friday. And yesterday also, when we did it, there was a disruption in between. I hope and pray to the Almighty and the nature God that they stay with us and today it does not get disrupted. And viewers, those who are watching it right now, our upcoming broadcast for this week, we are postponing it for the next week because we have a good viewership in Calcutta and West Bengal, and our viewers have been messaging us and saying that they are not able to participate in the live interactions because of uncertainty of telecom and internet connectivity. So we will resume our broadcast from the next Monday. We are not going to have a broadcast on this Wednesday and Friday, and accordingly we are going to take up so that we will wait for Calcutta to get back and crawl back to normalcy in every sense of the word. So with those words for the audience and viewers, Ruchika ji, do I have your permission to take the journey forward?
Sure, sir. I'm so in for it. Let's start.
Thank you so much. Friends, Ruchika ji's journey has been you know, if one wants to author a book from challenges to success, I think her life is full of data. And I think the challenges that she has faced, uh, the internet connectivity got disrupted. Hope. All right, Ruchika ji, we were fearing the intermittent internet, and just when we started, it affected. Am I
Yeah,
audible at your end right
yeah,
now?
you're audible. You're audible.
All right.
It's absolutely fine.
Prince,
You can.
I was just saying, and I hope that we will see if the journey today goes well. Otherwise, maybe we'll have to take a call for today's episode. Ruchika ji, I hope that will be okay. But I hope that it was just one odd technical glitch here in Calcutta. Ruchika ji's life and times, friends, if we look at her story, if somebody wants to author a book from challenges to a success story, I think and her life is full of data. And I think her life can be an example for us to learn a lot of things from her, and how she has battled the challenges in life, how she has, how she was like a child, how she has come out of her shell and gone on to be a professional, how challenging is motherhood, and in the context of single parenting, how challenging it becomes even more. So, all these things we are going to talk and learn, besides knowing about the educational entrepreneurship areas and skill set that she has acquired. Ruchika ji, we would like you to know right from the journey. I would like to open your book of life right from your childhood. That what kind of person and individual you were as a kid, as a child.
As a child, I was a very happy-go-lucky kind of child. Still now you can see I'm always smiling. So I was, I had a wonderful
Right.
childhood. So loving parents, a wonderful family, and everything one can ask for. So, I've been blessed. Everything one can ask for, and so the only thing was this, that I was born and raised to be a homemaker. And
Okay.
I wasn't able to achieve that in my life, but. That's okay. So I don't have any hard feelings. But then again, whatever I've achieved, I think I'm the blessed one. So God has been very, very kind to me. So I was in the school
Right.
time, I was you can say, an above average student who wasn't like, very much into the studies and everything. But yeah, I was an all rounder. I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to do everything. And I was like, I had a lot of friends. Still, I have, wonderful set of friends. And blessed. I have a wonderful family, and I really feel
Right.
I feel I'm a blessed soul.
Ruchika ji, as you said that you had everything you could have dreamt of as a child. It was a very comfortable childhood, lovely family around, and you said that you were groomed to be a homemaker and a housewife. I would say that one particular incident in life, but you still are an amazing homemaker, because you are running
Of
a
course,
home and you are taking a care of your child. Just
of
one
course,
unit not being there because of unfortunate circumstances doesn't
right.
affect your situation, and that is what you have shown to the whole rest of the world.
Yeah, right.
So, were you a naughty kind as a child in the school, or you were one of the sincere ones?
No, the sincere ones. I wasn't naughty at all.
Okay,
I was the
okay,
sincere
okay.
kind, the sincere daughter, a sincere student, a sincere sister, everything. I was a sincere kind of child.
Right. So
Hmm.
with that, Ruchika ji, before we go on your journey, friends, Ruchika ji was a sincere child, and I think the sincerity towards her profession also has taken her to the heights that she has achieved today. Besides running her own chain of schools, she also is vice president of Ludhiana Association of Preschools. So she is being recognized in different leadership positions. She's also running a NGO, Sukanya, in Ludhiana, doing a lot of amazing, good charitable work for the society and the community. Ruchika ji, before we go further, this series that we are having, which we had committed to people that till the end of this month, till 30th of May, till the fourth phase of the lockdown, every alternate day we are going to bring a social influencer and a educational influencer. After that, our Ed Talks will go to its normal frequency. We we are asking one standard question to everyone, and seeing the smile and the positivity on your face, I'm reminded to ask the same question to you. In these challenging times of COVID-19 and lockdown, how are you able to maintain this smile on your face? And how are you keeping yourself positive? I'm sure it'll be a lot of inspiration for a lot of people who are watching it live and who will be watching it in a recorded mode.
Amitabh ji, I was the kind of person who was not at all habitual of sitting at home. So I was working the whole day. So I have two branches. One is in Ludhiana, another one is in Khanna, which is like an hour's drive. So I was taking care of both the branches. I was running around the whole day, managing the show. And then I have my personal life as well. So I was like very, very occupied. And I had this mindset, I had this thought process that in case if I have to sit at home for a day or two, so I'm gonna die. That's like die is a very big word, but I used to use this word. So then in case if I'm stuck at home or something like that, so I'm gonna die, I won't be able to survive. But then again, I have learned a lot of lessons with the COVID thing coming, the COVID-19. So I've learned my lessons, and I thought that life is much more than that. And without work, I'm feeling so good, I'm feeling so happy. Of course, we are taking the online classes and everything is going on, but then again, the usual routine is not there. So the way we used to like run the whole day, that thing is missing in all our lives. We are all sitting at home. But then again, what matters is your outlook towards the life. So how you take
Right,
it. So when we
right,
see, when I found myself stuck at home, when I found myself at home, and I wasn't able to go out, I wasn't able to do my work. For the first day I thought, like, I'm clueless what to do. There's nothing to do. But then again I thought, like,
right.
this is the best time to maybe work on myself. So I'm doing those things. I'm working out, I'm doing meditation. So I'm learning new things, and I'm learning the new ways to educate my children, maybe probably. So
Right.
whenever we gonna open, so we gonna be a better version. I am gonna be a better version of myself, and my school is gonna be a better version of the Cherubs it was before COVID.
So it is it is all about the attitude and the mindset that you keep during this time. And I really love the way you said that after the lockdown or the post lockdown days, you are reinventing yourself, reinventing the processes in your school technology, so that you become a better version of yourself and the school reaches to a newer technology and newer heights. So beautifully said. Friends, already there is a lesson in learning that it is all about frame of mind. It is all about attitude. uh, किसी एक चैनल में ऐड भी आता है, सोच बदलो देश बदलेगा.
देश
एंड आई थिंक
बदलेगा.
अगर आप अपनी सोच को सकारात्मक रखोगे, आपके आसपास खुशियां रहेंगी. इट इज ऑल अबाउट योर थॉट प्रोसेस. एंड रुचिका जी, व्हेन वी आर डूइंग अ लिटिल ट्रैकिंग, माय टीम हैज brought few of your videos and all to my notice, and there was a very interesting video which shows the versatility, a bit of your naughty streak and the paradigms that you are living. There was a video where you are doing a dumbbell, and then the dumbbell changes hand with a makeup brush, and you are participating in that some makeup challenge. I think
Yeah.
what a beautiful contrast that you've shown, and that shows your creativity and the versatility that you're living in.
Right.
So
So
it's so
Amitabh,
lovely to know you.
yeah, yeah.
You were
Amitabh ji,
saying
for me,
something.
like, So people who know me really close, so they really think I am not the kind of educationist you see all around. So I'm a bit different. I like to sit down with my children on the floor and play with them. So I'm not the like regular principal who's standing there. The children cannot approach her. So I'm the kind of principal
Okay.
the children come and hug, and that's
Right.
a wonderful
Right.
feeling. Yeah. And I like to live my life. I'm like so active on social media, and I like to live my life, whatever challenges, whatever. There's nothing, I really feel there's nothing, your mind stops you. So there's nothing you cannot achieve, there's nothing you cannot do. Everything is achievable. It's just you need to think that you will be able to and do it, and you will be able to do it.
You'll be able to do that. It's just
Yeah,
that you need to believe, and everything is
done.
possible. So
Yeah.
can you be defined as a rebel with a cause?
Of course.
Because as you said that you do not conform to the conventional frame of mind that people
Methodology.
have
Yeah, right,
of a
right.
teacher or a educationist. You
Yeah,
are trying to redefine parameters.
yeah, right.
So
So, and I think I've been successful. I have a wonderful team who's working for with me, and we share a wonderful bond together. It's not like a teacher principal kind of relationship which we share, or with the parents as well. We call it Cherubs family. As in when somebody
right,
enters the school, so we tell them now we are a family. So it's Cherubs family. You're a part of Cherubs family. Your child is, because all these children, I believe, are my children. So when I
right,
take them as my own children, only then I can do justice with them, with the
absolutely,
education,
absolutely.
with the learning, everything.
And I can see in a very short time your Cherubs family is opening new wings and taking new routes at
Yeah,
different places as well.
yeah,
Uh,
right.
Now, this brings me back to your personal life, the vivaciousness that you have today. A lot of people, when they go through your kind of an experience, even I was a little skeptical when I talked to you that, that can I really raise these kind of questions, or will it trickle your emotions? But then you are a personality in your own right. In fact, you've been just rightly given that award of being the Iron Lady of Ludhiana. I think some newspaper has given you that title and an award for the courage and the conviction you have. And I would
Mm.
like to have a very heart to heart, direct conversation with you, because there will be a lot of people who go through this challenge and they do not know how to deal with those moments. There are challenging times, relationship not working out, be it in marriage or in during the courtship period or whatever, and that leaves a very big emotional scar, and not many people are able to deal with it. Not that it has not affected you, not that it will not affect any individual, but important is how you deal with it. How you, it's not what has happened, it is what you do after what has happened. And you have really defined how to deal with it after whatever has happened. So I would like you to share whatever is you think is appropriate to share, so that people can take a lesson out of it.
See, my journey and my struggles are the ones which have shaped me. So I wouldn't have been where I am as of now if I wouldn't have gone through those struggles and those tough times. So I'll start from the beginning. So I got married at the age of 20. Even before 20, I was like married, and then before my 21st birthday, I was blessed with a son. And then life wasn't like I had a dream life which I had always thought about, that my life will be this kind, my life, so I'll be like happily married, my husband will be very loving, caring, affectionate. And but you know what, like whatever dreams we have, at times they don't get fulfilled, and that's not, I won't say like he was at fault or I was at fault. The situation was such, at
Right,
times the situation is such, do people are not at all compatible, or there are some other issues, so I won't go in detail about that. But then
right,
before my 22nd birthday, I was all alone, I was single, I was separated with a 2-year-old child. And I was
right,
like really I wasn't able to understand from where should I pick up the pieces, how should I pick up the pieces of my life, and where should I start from. But then again, I
right,
had no option. I was like really young. So in North India, people think like marriage is the only thing for the girls. In North India, we have that kind of mindset. So
right,
we are not much into education, we are not much into careers and all. So in my family also, they wanted me to resettle, they wanted me to start my life again. But the
right,
thing which I thought was like, I can always get a husband, I can always any day
right,
get a husband, I'm good looking, I'm talented, a lot of qualities I have. But my
right,
son will never be able to get a father. So that's
Right.
difficult. That's difficult. So
Right.
he was abandoned by his father, and if he'll be abandoned with by his mother as well, life is not gonna be easy for him.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then at that time, at that time I took a decision. I said, no, I have to stand with him. I have to be there with him. I have to be his mother, and I have to be his father. So he deserves to have a normal parent, not a parent who's crying and who's not happy with her own life. If I won't be happy, my child won't be happy. So that was a big
Absolutely.
responsibility. And I was just a graduate at that time. So
Right.
when I thought, like, I have to stand on my feet, I have to be independent, because I have to make a name for myself. I have to do something. So the only thing I knew, like, by that time he was of school going age. And when I looked for a kindergarten for him in my town, so I
Right.
wasn't able to find a suitable place. So there are a lot of kindergartens, and they're wonderful kindergartens, right? But the something which I wanted my child for my child, or some place where I
Okay.
wanted my child to go, so I wasn't able to find that place. So
Okay.
that was then when I decided, like, I need to venture into the field of education. I need to have a school. The dream, that was the dream which came to my mind, and that was a thought which came to my mind. And I thought, like, I want to open a kindergarten school. And but for
Okay.
that, I wasn't educated enough, first thing, right? And then I
Right.
had no experience at all. So
Right.
then I thought I need to first, complete my education. I had a
Right.
small child, but that, and then again, I gave time to myself. I gave time to my education. I did my post grad after that. Then I did my NTT, that's nursery teachers training. Then I did my B.Ed as well. And along with
Okay.
that, I started the job. I started working
Okay.
as well. So initially, first I joined a kindergarten school. There I worked for like 6 months, and after that, I joined a school with nationwide presence. And I worked in that school for like good 4.5 years, and I learned a lot from that school, a lot. So and I started as a kindergarten teacher, and then I was promoted as the coordinator, then the vice principal. So it was a
Okay.
wonderful journey. And it had its own, I would say, rough patches, tough moments as well. It wasn't that easy. The way I'm saying it now is like, of course, that time is gone, so I
Right.
can talk about it easily. But then again, it wasn't an easy deal. It wasn't an easy deal. Completing education, having a small child at home, taking care of him, and then there was to work as well. So in private schools, it's not easy to work in private schools, and then you have to give your 100%. But then
Right.
again, everything, those tough times have taught me a lot. And I have grown as a human being. I have grown as an educationist. I have grown as a mother in those times,
Right.
in those
Right.
struggles. These struggles have
Abs-
shaped me.
Absolutely. And
Mm.
listening to you, uh, it the thoughts which cross my mind, and I would like to reiterate for our viewers, in what a beautiful way and in simple way Ruchika ji has narrated those tough times with so much of smile and simplicity. What I realized from what she said, she accepted the situation. She did not get into pitying the situation or pitying herself. She accepted the situation. So one of the very important lessons from her, that whatever be the situation, it's important to accept it rather than questioning it. And then the second thing, how beautifully she said, someone who's being revered by people in the education sector has no qualms about saying that I was not fully educated, I did not have appropriate qualification. So I think the second very important essence to be successful is accepting yourself the way you are, because when you accept yourself, only then you work towards acquiring what you need to acquire. And that's what Ruchika ji did. She planned her journey. She identified the need in the area that she has. Friends, a lot of people say that your opportunities are there in big towns. Opportunity is there in Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Madras. Friends, opportunity has never identified metro from A grade and A grade from B grade city at all. opportunity is in the eyes of an entrepreneur and in an individual. There are a lot of people who have seen opportunity during this lockdown as well. There are a lot of people who have created a lot of new business in the given time. A lot of people are working on. And Ruchika ji, at that point of time, from the point of view of education of her child, and she said they were good schools and they were doing whatever best in their capacities, no question mark to their capabilities, but every one of us have an expectation, and she also had certain set of expectations which she felt was not available, and she has set a dream that in city of Ludhiana she is going to create something which is going to provide that level of education, and that is where the seed for Cherubs, the preschool, has taken. She acquired education, skill, experience before she ventured into her own independent venture. So beautifully said. And Ruchika ji,
I would like
listening
to
to
add one
your,
thing. Yeah, I would
yeah,
like to
please.
add one thing, Amitabhji, here. So, people who are maybe watching me now or maybe will watch me later. So, the struggle which I went through, like, you said, like, I didn't question. There were hundreds of nights when I questioned God, when I questioned, myself, or, when I questioned the superpower, that why did this happen with me? I really feel I'm a nice human being. I've never ever done bad with anybody, and I've never thought bad about anybody. So this question was
Right,
always in my mind. Why did this happen with me? I don't deserve this. I deserve the
right,
wonderful life. But then somewhere, I realized this thing at that point of time, when there is a setback in your life, at that time you don't realize. Maybe that is for your betterment. If it wouldn't have happened at that times, I would like to suggest, I would like to, tell my audience as well, the people who are listening to us. So even if you're like going through a tough phase as of now because of quarantine, most of us are going through tough phases. But then again, there's a better story which God is writing for us. The way you look at me.
absolutely.
So if I would have stopped there, I would have never ever came here. I would have never ever be here in front of you and talking. So God had better
Absolutely.
plans for me, which I was not
Absolutely. We,
able
we
to.
wouldn't have connected to each other.
Yeah, right, right. I wouldn't have known so many people. I wouldn't have so many students in my school, or I wouldn't have reached where I am as of now. So, all God had some better plans for me. That is why I had to go through that struggle. So, if anybody else is going through some struggle in their lives, so trust me, there is something beautiful waiting for you.
There is always something better waiting for you. और गीता में भी लिखा है, जो हुआ अच्छे के लिए हुआ, जो हो रहा है अच्छे के लिए हो रहा है, और जो होगा अच्छा ही होगा. We may have to go through a phase of that war. महाभारत हुआ था, but then एक नए युग के निर्माण के लिए. So I'm
True.
sure the same is the story for all of us as well. And there is a learning from for all the parents, not just single parents, in the saying that described so beautifully by Ruchika ji right now, a few minutes back, that she looked at when she was in those times, that if she is not happy, her child will not be happy. So she has to work and find out ways, and at least in front of the child, she has to ensure happiness. And the child, to get a normal living, has to experience the environment to be happy, cheerful, and positive. And that's what she ensured for her family, for her child. And that is what I think all of us have to do. And even in these lockdown time, friends, you may be having business pressures, job pressures. You may be having anxiety about corona and COVID, and you may be having someone elderly in the family. All those anxieties may be there, but it is important to keep the environment visibly positive, because that is going to create the vibes that is going to give us strength, and that's what Ruchika ji also worked in the time when she faced some of the biggest and the toughest challenges of life.
Correct. Correct.
Ruchika ji, this in this phase, in this journey, when you started your professional journey, I think there are some very interesting stories are there, when how you got your first job as well, and I'm sure it may not have been very easy. You were a youngster without experience, trying to acquire knowledge and skill, whereas there are others. Employment is not easy these days, and I'm sure even few years back when you started off, it was equally challenging. So, what challenges did you face, and what was so very interesting and intriguing about the beginning of your professional journey?
Yeah, I'll share an incident with you what happened with me. So, I was doing my NTT and I was in working in a playway school. So, in a kindergarten school, I was working there for
Ruchika
experience.
ji, I'm sorry for stopping you in between. There was a bit of signal drop in between has also taken place. So let me just caution our viewers because I could see there are a lot of people who have joined us now. We have Vishal Joshi, Akhilesh Singh, Swati Malhotra, Nivedita, Deep Banerjee, Sadhna Pandey, Moinika Mehra, Gaganpreet. There's so many people have joined. Nikita Irani, Mini Behl, Anita Pandey, everyone's Indrani Gua. So many people are there right now watching us from across the country. Friends, there's a possibility because in Calcutta we are facing post-cyclonic challenges. The recovery work is in progress. Signals are intermittent. So bear with us if you have a little bit of a drop. For some reason, if it gets blocked, we will come back again. Don't go away if we may take few minutes, if at all that happens, hoping and praying that doesn't happen in today's broadcast. And you are watching Ed Talks with Amitabh, featuring Ruchika Arora, Managing Director, Cherubs, the preschool, directly from Ludhiana. And also, please feel free to put up your inquiries and questions which you may want to know, whether it is about education at a preschool level or otherwise, or it is about personal life lessons from Ruchika ji. Feel free to post it in your chat boxes, and we'll try to take them in few minutes from now. Ji Ruchika, you
Right.
were saying.
Yeah, I was sharing my life experience with you. So I was working in a kindergarten and I was doing my NTT, that's nursery teachers training. So the teacher was very fond of me, who was taking my NTT classes. So she was younger than me, but we shared a good bond. And like she suggested me, she said like there's an opening in a school in Ryan International School, if I name it. Said there's an opening in the school for a teacher, and you should go and give interview there. I said yeah, fine. I'll do. I said, do you think I'll be selected? So I have no experience at all. And but she said yeah, at least you should go and you should at least you'll gain some kind of experience. So I went there and there were like 15 people there for the interview, and I went on the reception and I asked the receptionist. I said, hi ma'am, I'm here for the interview. And
Okay.
she said, okay, can I have your CV? And I was like, I didn't know anything. I just came out of a home and I had no idea what a CV is. So I just told her, I said, "Yeah, can I have a pen and a paper? I'll just write it down for you." So I took the paper and the pen from her and I wrote down my profile and I gave it to her. So when I was sitting there, so I was hopeless that I'm gonna get this job. I was like, okay, fine, I've come here, it's okay, it's some kind of experience I'm gonna get, but this job definitely I'm not gonna get. So I went
Okay.
inside like after 15. I was talking to them, and all of them were like much more educated, much more experienced than me. And but then again, I didn't feel disheartened. I was like, okay, you have to go ahead with things. And I went in for the interview, and then the principal said, we would like to take you to the class and you have to give a demo. So I was like, and I was like good with children. I'm still, that is something which I can do. That is something which I love. So I went to the class and we started teaching, and the children were enjoying. And I don't know, an hour went by and we were all talking, laughing, learning from each other. So it's
Yeah.
not only the teacher teaches the children, the teacher learns a lot from the children. So
Right.
we were all having a good time, learning, enjoying ourselves. And by the time that interview ended, the principal called me and she said, like, you can join from tomorrow. And I was like so surprised. So there's a lesson for everybody to learn here, that even if you feel that you will not be able to achieve something particular, you never know, you have to give it a try. At least you give it a try, and at times things fall in place. So it was like so easy for me to get a job. But then again, when I joined the school, so as there's a lot of politics everywhere.
Right.
Anywhere, if you join, if you're working, there's a lot of politics everywhere. It wasn't an easy journey, I would say. It wasn't easy, but then again, I learned a lot.
You learn a lot, and friends. There may be times when you may get an opportunity where you don't even expect. It is important that you try, because
Yeah.
and let the judgment be left on the people who are supposed to judge, rather than yourself prejudging yourself in with negativity and not making the effort there, because that's what she knew, that she is not that appropriately qualified, but she did not say no to the opportunity. She tried, and it worked out and became a turning point in her life. And I'm sure she has learned from all those experiences, which she's using in her school. We have Inrani Guhaji. She is, I know, because she's very regular and a good friend as well. She's a principal of a school in Danu, and she is writing here, which is a border of Maharashtra and Gujarat, where she's heading a school, Credo Word School. She has written admirable. What's important is that we take charge of our own healing, and that is what Ruchika ji has done. So her outlook is beautiful.
Thank you
So there is
so
an
much.
acknowledgement from someone
Thank you so
who
much. Thank you
understands
so much.
life. We have questions also coming. I'm sure more questions will take up. But right at this point of time, I would like to come to this. You have started your journey by teaching in a school, and then at some point of time, you decided that now it's time for you to venture out on your own. So it's working in an organization is a different mindset. Starting an enterprise of your own is a different mindset and a ball game altogether. Now, with the responsibility of parenting, responsibility of a child at home who is in a growing up age, what was the frame of mind, and what helped you take that decision to go and take this challenge?
See, when I started my own school, first of all, though, I couldn't believe myself that I could reach this point. You know, so we all of
Yeah,
us have these norm, like you were just talking. All of us have these pre mindsets. Which we have to
right,
fight, which we have to come over. So for me as well, it was like, first of all, I was like, it was something unbelievable. I have a school of my own, so that's like the feeling of, first you
right,
have that proud in yourself. Yeah, fine, I'm able to achieve this. And then
right,
the second thing comes like, will I be able to do justice? Will I be able to fulfill the responsibility? Teaching kids is not an easy thing. Whatever, it makes a mark in their lives. Whatever small things you are doing, whichever way you are teaching them, that makes a mark. We are the first ones, we are the first, first teacher in their lives. So they have to have that love for the school. So if they will love their kindergarten,
absolutely,
only then they will love their schools. Only then they'll be ready for the formal education. So that was a big
right,
responsibility on me. And I started like this, and I took one step at a time. I took one step at a time.
right,
They were like, I started with 13 kids, and like now I have so many kids studying in my school. But then again, I just tried. I just thought, I always thought, whenever there was some kind of confusion in my life, in my career, or in my for work field, I always used to think, what if it is my child? What if it is my child in front of me? How am I going to teach that child? How do I want my staff, my teachers, to teach them? What teaching technologies are to be used? In which way, the teachers have to behave with the children, or what kind of environment we have to provide it to them? So always, I always thought, like, this child is my child, and what best I can do for this child.
all right, all right. And that is how the inspiration has come to start off totally on your own.
Yeah.
All right, that's so. Ruchika ji, with you being a managing director, principal, and you have already got an experience of being a teacher in a school, and if you are a mother, so you are seeing things from a parent's point of view, you are seeing things from a teacher point of view, you are seeing things from a administration point of view. Uh, you are also vice president of the Preschool Association. There's a question that is raised by Akhilesh Singh on there in the chat box. I can see from Facebook. He writes that given the current situation, even government seems clueless about how to move on. What should be the exit plan, particularly in case of education sector? So, in the current scenario, when things are everyone is groping in dark. So from your experience, and I'm in your association also, you must be talking to people about that, what can be done about the whole thing.
See this.
How can the schools reopen?
Eventually we'll have to reopen the schools eventually, of course. As of now we can, we can wait for another month, 2 months. But if there is no vaccination coming up, or if there is no medicine coming up, then things are going to be difficult. So we can't, we can't just leave our children like this. Education is very, very important. And online education, I understand the schools are doing their best, the teachers are doing their best, the children are trying to learn everything.
Right,
But online education is not the solution, right? In the present
right,
scenario, of course, we don't have any other option, so we are all going ahead with that, and of course it is helping children in some way or the other. But that is not something which is going to go a long way. That is not. So eventually we'll have to open the school. So I can just, I can just pray to Almighty that there is some vaccination which comes up. There should be some vaccination which comes up, and we are able to open the schools in the way we were operating before. But that is kind of impossible looking at the scenario as of now. So we will have our own challenges. The schools will, I think, another couple of months, the schools will start operating. But then we'll
right.
have to, follow the norms with the social distancing, like social distancing, or maybe we'll just call up half of the children, or maybe we'll just have the schools for alternate days. So there will be a lot of changes, before COVID-19 and after COVID-19. Life will be completely different, and the school education sector will also be different. So but then again, of course, the human beings are like that, that whatever challenges are thrown at us, we make the best of them. We take out some solution or the other, and we are all trying to find solutions in this scenario as well, which will be, of course, which as soon as the government allows us with some norms, with some regulations and all, so we will be opening the schools.
So Ruchika ji says that schools will eventually be opening, and we have to wait for government's call and the norms to take appropriate steps. Akhilesh ji, MHRD along with the Quality Council of India has already worked on some recommendations, but yes, those recommendations have already been published, but then government policy and the communication yet to become official. So there are a lot of bodies which are working in working out ways and means and methods so that schools can also open. The challenge is big, and we all are in the same boat, unsure, uncertain till the government clarification comes up, because it's a policy matter. On a forum like this, making any anticipatory declaration also will not be very advisable. However, we hope there will be methods and means will come. Now, this brings me to a point, Ruchika ji, that when the schools will reopen with whatever norms that government says, will there be a possibility of that we will go back to the totally the way it was earlier, or there will be after the lockdown it will be a new defined ways and means of education. There will be more integration of technology coming up post lockdown period.
Things are going to be different, Amitabh. For us as well, if we see our personal lives, things are different. See, before COVID, we were different people. Now we are different people. The mindset has changed. And same ways in
Right,
education as well, in our schools as well, there will be a lot of changes. There will be a lot of new things which will be inculcated in our schedules, in our curriculums and all, because we cannot go the way we were going. As it is also, the way we were going wasn't, I won't say it was a wonderful way of the personal hygiene, the lot of things which were not considered as important as they should be in the schools.
right,
So,
right.
but now these things are of main priority for anybody. So our health, our hygiene, our these all these things have to be taken care of, and things will be different post COVID when the schools will open, when the sector will start working. So things will be different. All of us will have to think about it. All of us will have to take out new methodologies, be there for each other, learn from each other, and then only we can start the work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ruchika ji, we have a query from Sadhna Pandey. I am aware she is principal of Janward School in Mati in Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. She writes, commendable spirit of Ruchika ji, keep it up. Kite rises highest against the wind, and you have proved it with that accolade for you. She also wants to hear from you as you are specializing in a preschool level. She writes, virtual class forum, pre-primary kids, concentration, focus on studies, how to manage. You as a preschool specialist, how would you recommend this online virtual classroom? What is your take on that for preschool children?
Thank you so much, Sadhna ji. And the thing we initially as educators, we always used to tell our children that don't use mobile phones, the screen time should be limited. And now we are telling our students that they have to be online, they have to, and then the screen time has increased. So we are telling them that you have to be online, you have the classes are going to be online, and same ways, but the children, they are not able to concentrate, especially the pre-primary and the kindergarten children, they are not able to concentrate. So, and they are so good with the technology, they are so good with handling the mobile phones or the laptop, so that if the parent opens the Zoom session for them, or if the parent opens the whatever WhatsApp video the teacher has made and sent it to the child just closes that window and opens YouTube, because that's more
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah, that's more interesting. They would like to watch some movie, they would like to watch some cartoon instead of whatever the teacher is teaching them. But then again, we're telling the parents that they have to sit with the children, they have to sit for that particular time, they have to sit with the children, and we are trying to send some kind of activity or the other instead of the usual teaching thing. So we, of course, we can always teach them the alphabets and the numbers, these things will go lifelong. So as of now, we are just concentrating on developing their life skills. We are concentrating on doing some activities with them in which they also feel good, they feel happy, they feel engaged. And then I feel like when we are sending something like this to the parents and the children, the response is much better than sending the other things. So for those children, for the younger ones, I feel this is not the time for us to concentrate on the academics part. So we need to concentrate on developing their life skills, their for their hand-eye coordinations, and all these activities we can plan for them and we can send it to them. That will engage them more, and they'll be learning a lot.
So you are trying to say A for Apple can take a back seat, but then you're making the dough with the wheat at home and using it as a clay modeling may be a better idea.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Those kind
things.
of
I can give you a
activities.
lot of examples on this.
Right.
There are a lot of things. So as of now, we are all at home. The parents are at home, mothers, fathers, both are at home. So we can teach our children about saving and spending. You know, these days the spending thing, and initially before COVID, all of us were spending like anything. So we were hoarding things. This thing was going on, but now the mindset has changed for each individual. So now we can, when we are sitting at home with them, we can teach them about the saving and spending thing. We can teach them about telling the time. The children, they don't know how to read the clock face, so most of the children,
Right.
but we can teach them, to teach this to them. And these lessons, tying up their shoelaces, doing their making their beds, changing their clothes, riding a bike, some basic gardening skills, watering the plants or taking care of the plants. These things are also very, very important and part of life. Of course, I understand academics are very important, but that at this stage, in foreign countries, the school starts at 5 years, 6 years of age. So in India, of course, the school, we start a little early. At some places we even start at 2 years. The child is just 2 years and the child starts going to school. And the parent and the teacher, they're all, there's this mindless thing which is going on. We just want our children to learn alphabets, we want our children to learn numbers, we want our children to learn days of the week. We want them to just learn everything, mugging up thing. They can just, they just put it, we just try to put it in them. But then again, they can learn it at their own pace. Even if, like, 6 months are spent in learning other things, these things are going to go a long way, I feel. So these life skills, if we're going to teach them, cleaning their shoes or helping their mothers in the kitchen, or some minor repair works. I'll give you my example as well. So, I never knew how to change the tire of the car. So I've been driving
Okay.
since I was 20-year-old, but I've learned that in the COVID times. So I thought,
Okay.
I should, same ways we can teach a lot of things to our children in this age. So we can, as schools also, we can send some activities to them. We should make them and ask the parents and the children, we can, the teachers can ask the children and motivate them to make videos and send it back to school so that we know they are doing the work.
All right, that's so beautifully said. Uh, Ruchika ji, this also brings me to a question, uh, a very specific question, which I am asked on various platforms. Of course, I'm giving my experience in response to them. Now, I'm putting that question to you, and I'm framing it in my own words. How much is too much in the context of screen time for preschool children?
So that is what I was saying. Now, initially, as educators, we used to tell the children, okay, no, children should not be using the phones or the laptops or the tabs, right? But then again, in these times, there are no other options which we are left with, or which with the parents are left with. So there is what
Right,
I feel is there is nothing good or bad. There is good screen time as well, and there is bad screen time as well. So first of all, as parents,
right,
we have to choose between the good screen time and the bad screen time. So see, now the children are at home. Maybe they have their grandparents living somewhere else, and they have to video call with them. So that is, I will call that a good screen time. At least they are getting in touch with their grandparents. Even if the grandparent is telling a story on video call, that's also good for the child. The child is learning a lot from that. Or if the parent and the child
absolutely.
together is playing some game, if there's some puzzle with the color sorting or something like that, that's a good screen time.
Right,
So
absolutely.
but if the child is playing some video game, right, that's bad screen time. And these days when I see the internet, it is flooded with all kinds of things, you know so my
Absolutely.
suggestion
Absolutely.
to the parents will be that there has to be parental control on the content which the child is watching. So these
All right.
days, like we watch smart TVs, we have smart TVs in our homes, but the content there is like is not appropriate for a child, I would say, or even for a 15, 6,
Right.
or for a teenager as well. But as parents, we
Right.
have to take care of these things, that we should ask our children to spend their time in a good way, and the good screen time should be there. Of course, it is important. We
Absolutely.
cannot the importance of technology cannot be ignored. It is very, very
Ignore.
important in these days.
So technology is there for us to stay in educational context. It has found even greater relevance and significance in during these lockdown days, and it is only going to get strengthened even post lockdown days. And as Ruchika ji has quite aptly said, that it is not about the screen time, it is about the quality of the screen time which is important, because screen now is for last some time itself, it has been a reality. It has become an even bigger reality for us. Rather, the difference that has come happened during this lockdown time. Earlier it was all about TV and the YouTube and the games, where the screen time was there. During the lockdown times, there is a more positive, constructive use and channelizing of the screen time is taking place, and that is what is a good news. And that's where parents need to have a control and channelize your children to a more constructive, positive screen time when you are using the child. So it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of the screen time, which is very, very important. Ruchika ji, it seems that there are a lot of people in your arena have a lot of love and affection for you. One such person seems to be directly knowing you. Navneet Chandpreet Basin writes, you are an inspiration for us all, ma'am. Before meeting you, I never thought that a person could be a teacher, support, mentor, and philosopher all in one. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. So there are a lot of admirations. I can see that
Thank
people
you.
have, you have influenced and inspired many lives already, and I'm sure today our listeners will get a lot more to take away and be inspired as well. Shruti Luthra Sudera has a question here. Uh, how to teach children who are entering school for the first time during this COVID time? That's a very interesting and a unique one, because it's just been the April when March and the lockdown took place, and there are kids who actually got admission and got into a new. They have not even met their teachers, and suddenly they have the online education. So she is putting a question in that context: how to teach children who are entering school for the first time during this COVID times, as worksheets coming from schools for them, but we are unaware what will be the teaching method in the school. So how to proceed? So they are saying that school is sending the material, the literature, but child has not even met the teacher, not gone to the
Yeah,
school.
right,
We as
right.
parents don't know what to do with it. So what can
Mhm.
be done in those situations?
I understand the situation is really difficult for us as well and the parents as well. But then again, if we don't have any option, we'll have to work out some method. So for us, in my school, what I have done is initially we just introduce the teachers to them, through video calls. We just made the children comfortable with them. And regarding the worksheets and all, I feel the children are very very small for the worksheets, and what should be done is whichever particular school the child is going to, the parents should request the the teachers to make some video for the child and the parent, to give them guidelines, because the teachers know, they have been trained, for the writing skills as well. To teach the children writing skills, the teachers are trained, and it is difficult for the parents to guide the children. So in this scenario, I would request is, like, you should request, the parents should request the teachers of the concerned school to make some kind of video in which the teacher is guiding and explaining, how the child has to complete that worksheet.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
And so I think there's lots that can be done. And Miss Shruti Luthra, I think parents also need to take initiative, reach out to the teacher and the mentors, and ask them for some time to understand, because these are odd times. Teachers are trying their best. We can find a lot of gaps in what is happening, but that is not going to help. Important
Mhm.
is that we take initiative to reach out to teachers, try and
Mhm.
understand, because we have to play the role of a teacher or a support teacher at home, because teachers
At
can do
home.
things when the child is in the classroom. At
Yeah.
home, you are the only one there, and the teachers are there online. So try and get connected to the teacher,
To the
understand, and
teachers,
then
and they can
help
guide
your
them in a
teacher
better
to
way.
help your
Yeah.
child.
Yeah, they can guide them in a better way. I understand even the mothers are going
Now
through a
this.
tough phase, because there are no home helps we have as of now. They have to take care of the children, they have to do the household chores as well, they have to, there are a lot of things the mothers are going through these days, and it's not easy for them to make the children learn. But then again, we have to start from somewhere, and as and when they will interact with their child, when they'll sit with their child with the pen and the paper, with the pencil and the book, or anything like that, so they will themselves get to learn a lot of things. It is a learning experience. The mothers are also gonna evolve with their children, I feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that would be very, very significant. And I can see that a lot of appreciation and love for you is getting reflected. You would love to see the Facebook page and YouTube profile post the session, because a lot of people are commenting for their love and affection for you. Sapna Sethi, Yogita Arora, Mini Bell. A lot of people are now crawling in to enjoying and getting inspired by your words
That's
and
so
acknowledging
wonderful.
your inspiration for them.
Thank you.
Now, this brings me to this is something which lately have started creeping in my mind as an inquiry. Uh, as long as it was all new, it was euphoria. Teachers were also excited. Everyone was working hard to acquire new skills. Parents were trying to acquire new skills. Children were trying to acquire new skill set. Everyone was learning. But now, with 3 months, 2 months passing by, there's going to be a fatigue that is going to creep in. There's going to be a burnout. and they will be now, parents are going to get more critical about that this is happening, that is not happening. It is like it becomes a very odd situation for a child, for a teacher, that the parent is constantly hovering on the child. Is the child and the teacher being left alone? The parent is always sitting next to the child, hushing up, commenting, you speak, you don't speak. Those kind of things are happening. So, what message you would like to give to parents? How to make this current online education effective, and how to support, how the teacher and the parent can cooperate and coordinate for effectiveness of the child, because both the focus of the parent and the teacher is the child.
Is the same. Yeah. See, I tell these to parents as well when the child joins the school, and even this in this online scenario as well. So the children, the parent and the teacher, both of them have to work in collaboration for the child, right? Because both of us are here for the child. We want that the child should, excel in everything, and same is what the parent wants. So only the thing is this: we have to trust the parents, because whatever lesson plans, whatever lessons we are sending, the parent is going to impart that knowledge to the child, right? And same way
Absolutely.
the parents have to trust the teachers. So whatever the teachers are planning, learning, doing, making videos or Zoom calls, it is for the betterment of their child. Maybe the child will
Absolutely.
not be able to understand in one go. Maybe the child will need a repetitive lesson from teaching from the parent, or maybe something like that, right? Maybe it's not easy for the child to just pick up from a screen. It's not easy. The one to one
Right.
interaction is required. But in this kind of scenario where we don't have any option, the only option is online teaching. So whatever best we can make out, so I would like to encourage the teachers as well. They should find new methodologies, they should find new things, so that the child doesn't get bored the way we teach in our classrooms. So every day we plan something new for the child. When the child comes, so we plan some morning activity for the child, and every day that activity is different, because it becomes boring for the child to do the same activity again and again. So same ways teaching also becomes boring if it's done in the same way. So first the teacher needs to, wake up the child. When she comes online, she needs to wake up the child, she needs to have the attention of the child. Then only the teaching should start. Same ways the parents should also try
Absolutely.
that they shouldn't distract the child, or they shouldn't push the child to speak, to maybe the child is not telling the teacher whatever the child has learned, but it has somewhere registered in their mind. When they're listening to it, when they're seeing it, it has registered, and it is going to show some way or the other later on. So
Absolutely.
we all have to do our job in the best manner we can, and learning will happen.
And learning will happen. And I think we need to give that space to our children for their independence, so that they blossom with their individuality being kept intact rather than always being hand-holded.
Right.
So, Ruchika ji, it's been so amazing talking to you. और वक्त कब गुजर गया पता ही नहीं चला. It's already been more than an hour that we have been in an interaction. It's so lovely, so inspiring to talk to you. I'm sure my viewers on the school times watching Ed Talks with Amitabh really must have benefited with so much of inspirational sharing that you have, and the knowledge that you have shared with all of them. I would, before I thank you for being part of our show formally, any last message for teachers, parents, and students?
Yeah, so there's this message I would like to give. I believe in this saying, like it says, like, life is 10% what happens to us, and 90% how we react to it. So whatever is happening now in COVID times, or whatever is happening in your personal lives, or whatever is happening in your professional life, that is happening. You cannot change it. That is just the 10%. What matters is how you react to it, how you take it, right? So whatever is coming, take them as challenges, and just think that we are going to overcome. So we shall overcome one day.
Someday. So whatever happens is only 10%, 90% is how we respond to it, and that defines how we are going to cope up and evolve in that given situation. So beautifully summed up. And I think these words will be a lot of source of inspiration for people to handle the current situation also that they are going through. Thank you so much for being part of Ed Talks with Amitabh, Ruchika ji. It's been a great learning experience, and I'm sure all the viewers have enjoyed who were live here and those who will watch it on our School Times Facebook page as well as on the YouTube. It was broadcasted simultaneously on both, and other platforms it will be posted at a later stage. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Amitabh ji. Thank you so much.
Friends, you were watching Ruchika Arora from Ludhiana in Ed Talks with Amita. I'm sure, like all our episodes, you must have found this episode also inspirational, motivational, and a lot of learning takeaways you must have got in this episode. Friends, as I said, हमारा commitment आपके साथ था. Our commitment was till the end of this fourth phase of lockdown till 30th. Every alternate day we are going to bring you a professional, but because of the unforeseen situation of cyclone destruction in West Bengal and Calcutta, and thereafter the post cyclonic recovery phase, repair work going on, affecting electric supply, telecommunication, and internet connectivity. We are taking a decision that this week, the further broadcast, we will postpone it till next week. So you will be updated from our Facebook page, our schedule, because a lot of interesting resource persons are scheduled and lined up. But then, because of the unforeseen reason, in fact, there was some meteorological forecast was there that there's another cyclone and a storm expected in a day or two again in Calcutta and West Bengal. I hope it is not as destructive as the previous one was, Amphan was. With this note, friends, I would also like to let you know that as government is now gradually allowing, keeping the social distancing norms, a lot of workplaces are opening. We were so far our sister concern, HLS India, Human Learning Systems India, providing the educational consultancy, psychological counseling, therapy, and support and the trainings. We were all working in an online mode from first week of June, from 1st of June, we are going to be available to you both in office, in chamber appointments. We will be meeting only through appointments, and we will continue with online processes and the trainings and the counselings and therapies that has been provided. That will continue. So now you have a choice whether to book your appointments for online counseling or to go for in chamber counseling appointment. You can contact us at we'll share the numbers and the contact details on our Facebook page so that you can contact for further appointments. So HLS India is going to gradually open following all government norms and diktats for your counseling training and other needs from 1st of June onwards. So I hope you're enjoying. Our broadcast will continue the way it is continuing. Its frequency will be informed, and the next week's resource persons, our guest details will soon be broadcasted once we assess the cyclonic storm situation and internet connectivity gets restored. We are very optimistic. Within this week, it should get restored. So we will be again with you soon. Till that time, signing out. This is Amitabh Mohan. Thank you for all the love and support. Till next Monday, when we are going to connect back again, taking a pause for next 2 episodes in this week because of internet connectivity issues coming up. So keep watching Ed Talks with Amitabh only on the School Times Facebook and YouTube channel, and of course on our web page as well. Thank you so much. God bless. Take care.